I don't think it was any surprise that the Cowboys won. I think I picked with my heart. I had the Seahawks winning. What did the Seahawks do from here? I mean, let's be real. This was a rebuilding year that ended up being a playoff year. So, Seahawks fans, you gotta be grateful for what you have. Uh, it looks like Carroll has brought a little bit of stability, and to be honest, I think a lot of it stems from the leadership of Russell Wilson. And then I think on the defense, I think Wagner and some of those boys, the locker room seems a little bit tight after getting rid of the Shermans of the world, the Bennetts of the world, and getting rid of some of the toxic personalities in there that I think was kind of causing the chemistry to go down a little. So what do you think? What do you think of that Seattle game?
Man, I actually thought, to be honest, outside of the Eagles and Bears game, which we'll get to in a bit, I actually thought it was the best playoff game of the weekend. It was very entertaining, lots of defense, lots of offense, even though it wasn't that high scoring. We just had some great plays, as we see here, right? Great defensive play there by Wuze. Tyler Lockett later on in the game has a nice little catch. He's just wide open, with the Seahawks trying to make a comeback. Just wide open. I mean, Tyler Lockett was just making big plays all game. Carson couldn't really get anything going, and that was because of Jalen Smith and Lee. And I mean, those two, man, they might honestly, in terms of the two middle linebacking tandem, that might be the best in the league right now. Those dudes play with fire, high energy every single play. It's amazing. Just as Sal stated, I mean, you talk about Zeke. I think Zeke is probably the purest running back in the game. The best pure running back in the game. Dudes don't want to tackle him. He's typically one cut, but he can make you miss in open space. He'll lower his shoulder, and I mean he showed that he can be a complete running back in today's game. Over 75 catches this season. Compared to previous seasons where I don't even think he eclipsed 50. And because he was mainly used as a running back, and that's why I say I think he's the purest running back in today's game. But he showed you why, you have to feed him. You got to feed that monster known as Ezekiel Elliott.
Two spoons.
Yeah, 2 spoons. I forgot 2 spoons. Amari Cooper has really turned it up too. Like I said earlier in first season of the Spiel, I thought Amari Cooper's issues had been because of confidence more than actual ability. I think that Ravens Raiders environment is very, very toxic right now, and I mean, you see that a lot of players have been given up on Gruden and things like that. So I thought it was a combination of that, a combination of no creativity on offense, and not really feeding him at times. And like I said, I just think like a lot of the issues there, he had the drops going on, but like I said, I think it's a culmination of the environment and how he felt there, things like that. But as we see, I mean, he's become a weapon for Dallas. And Dak, I mean, honestly, he had the one interception, but we can kind of say that was a missed call by the refs. Thought there was some pass interference there. But outside of that, man, he played perhaps his best game of his young career. Is he Drew Brees? Is he Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers? No. But the guy plays his heart out. And, I mean, he was the better quarterback. Outside of looking at the play on the field, on the Dallas side, I mean, Russ was decent, but I don't think he was unleashed enough. I think that goes back to coaching. Jason Garrett actually outcoached Pete Carroll. Overall, though, Pete Carroll did have an amazing season with a rebuilding season. I didn't think most people thought this team was going to even be a playoff team, and they got in there riding a very strong running game with a opportunistic defense. That didn't show up this weekend. The better defense belonged to Dallas. The better offense belonged to Dallas, and the better coach belonged to Dallas this past weekend. And yeah.
Wow. Jason Garrett and the praise.
Jason Garrett. I didn't think I would say he was the better coach, but he was the better coach this past weekend. So And I think people better be. Dallas is one team that I think in NFC, when it comes to their defense, it can make them scary. And I think people better watch out for them. Seriously.
I don't think they're getting past the those Ram boys. I don't see it.
Even
Rams
with
got
the
offense
home
and
field
defense.
advantage this week,
With what?
even with the home field advantage
All the
this week,
Cowboys fans in LA.
I think they fill the Coliseum. I think it'll be at least 70-30, 60-40, I think.
Probably right. You're probably right. That's interesting because they don't usually have their own home field advantage, but they leave and they get it. But, I mean, the Rams have the better team, and that's what matters. But we'll get to those picks in a little bit. I just wanted to say, like, Dak really impressed me, as he did all year, as a guy I kind of counted out. But, man, he reminds me, he's not like Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, like you said, but he reminds me of Cam when he's out there running for first downs on 3rd and 14. The linebackers can't stop him. He just flips right over him and just seems to get the last 3, 4, 5 yards that he needs every time almost. It's like he doesn't have Cam's speed, but he's got Cam's physicality, his durability, and he's not quite as big, but he can take a hit. And he just knows how to really.
He's very girthy.
Well, he just knows how to get those extra yards and get the first down. Right?
Girth.
Yeah, I guess that's what you need.
I mean, that dude is a wide dude, yo.
He's a wide body.
Wide body.
Yeah, and Zeke, dude. And Zeke, yeah, I mean, I still don't think he's the best overall running back, but he's maybe the best runner of the football. He can catch it too, but yeah, when he runs, he means business. He never goes backwards. He always, just like Dak, he's always getting those last 3 yards. I guess Dak learns from him a little on that maybe, but yeah, they do have a really tough physical running style about them. And Dak's been making passes too that I wasn't always sure he could make, and Amari Cooper's been hanging on to the passes that I didn't think he could catch. So, I mean, we'll see if those drops resurface for him at the worst possible time because the stakes are only getting higher now. So he's going to need to catch everything against the Rams. But no, I mean, I just think, like you said, they didn't call enough passing plays for Russell. He's the best player on the field, like he almost always is, and they just didn't unleash him enough. They're trying to run Carson, who had a great year, into the teeth of that defense, and it wasn't working. You got to just unleash Russell, I think, and let him beat you, let him work his magic. Like we saw on the last 2-minute drill, he let him right down the field, or the last drive. They needed the onside kick, but man, I think a lot of people thought it was over when Dak scored, made it like a 10-point game with 2:08 left, and then I was like, wait, why didn't they just like take it below the 2-minute warning and make sure they don't have a chance here? Because Wilson let him right down, but I guess you got to score there.
And
anyway,
let's talk about the gutsy. We know that Janikowski got hurt, but let's talk about the fact that Pete Carroll went for 2.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
Yeah,
he's going for a win.
And if they would have got that onside kick,
they would have been over. They're getting that field goal if they get that, and then that would have been a great ending. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, I mean, Dallas moves on. I didn't think they'd be in this position this year.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas. I picked Dallas to win the game.
I did too.
I just didn't think the Seahawks had it in them. I didn't think they had enough to win the game. Dallas' defense looks good. Zeke looks good. Tyron Smith is like a huge human being. He is massive. That was just a side note that he just popped up on the screen a lot. He was pulling. It was great.
I feel like that's how it is in film. Because it's like you see that man, you gotta beat him off the line.
It's like, geez, good luck. Yeah. No, I mean, the Cowboys look good. I mean, I'm not sold on Dax. Never will be, I don't think. I just don't know. I just have something against him. I don't think he's that good.
You're like Steven. You just hate the Cowboys.
It's just like it's just like everyone glorifies the Cowboys. Like every player on their team is just really, really good, and they're just not that good. I can't get behind Dak. I think his demons are going to show up next week. He had a good game though. I'll give it to him. Their defense is really good though. I will say that the Cowboys defense is really good. And Jason Garrett might have gotten outcoached. I mean, he might have outcoached Pete Carroll this week. But yeah, that's all I got to say. They won a game.